The guy's trying to be protective of them. Now, you mean to tell me that it's a problem to get 2 black men and 1 female? You have 7.
Well, what I'm telling you is the way it's structured right now is nothing more than mandated racism versus, unfortunately, what would actually be around in the country for people, which would be individual or corporate racism. But by the government mandating certain amounts of employees based on race, that's government racism.
It's not government racism. I think it's government equality. You're trying to set the playing field. Remember, you had the white racist who chose everyone. He's choosing all white men.
But Craig, as for the individual white male, he's being discriminated against. He's not looking at numbers. That white guy that he don't care how many of anybody's hired anywhere, he's trying to feed his family, provide for his children, wife, and family. He goes to apply for a job. He's highly qualified, and there is a chance in our country that he won't get the job because he's white. And that chance is government-mandated racism. It's a shame. It's nothing. Again, it's horrendous to think that there's individual racism and there's corporate racism, and a person would not be hired because they're black or white. That's horrible, and I know it would happen because, again, we got a world full of racists, white and black, and everything else, as I said before. But what's horrendous is when your government mandates racism. I don't, frankly, give a damn if I'm trying to feed my hungry kids and my wife. I'm not worried about numbers of race because I, as a non-racist, try to just feed people. And I want the people hired that are the highest qualified, and I would want to be hired if I was the highest qualified, and I would not want to be denied that because of my color.
That's the problem.
This is what was fought. Same thing Martin Luther King fought against. It's racism. And
well, here, all right. We're missing each other because I'm talking about having racism to be squashed from the typical, as we know what racism is, which is the controlling body of society holds another body of society down because of their race or religion or what have you, sex, whatever. Well, the white majority are in the power positions, typically. So for you to say that it's racism by the government to make that playing field equal is really not, I think it's missing the point. Because when the reason why you have affirmative action, the reason why you have government involvement, because if the racist guy who says that I'm going to look out for my own, and he's in the power positions, he hires all white folks, that leaves out all black people. So we have to have some type of interaction with somebody to make that not to be the case. And you can't say, based on past, based on statistics, that that's going to hash itself out, because it's not. Because you see it time and time again. When you go to corporate America, when I go to corporate America, when I worked as a consultant, and I look at the structure of the organization, I look at all of the people that are in power, they're mostly white.
let me ask you a question. You went to college and graduated from college.
Yep.
Did you by any chance apply for and receive a United Caucasian college scholarship?
No, I went in the military. So
Okay.
I'm not.
Are you aware of any African Americans or black people receiving a United Caucasian college scholarship?
A United Caucasian College Scholarship. What's the name of it?
There's not one. But there is a United Negro College Scholarship that my brilliant daughter has no chance of receiving.
But she can get the Pell Grant. She can get...
Is that exclusively for white people, the Pell Grant? Because it's Pell and Phoenix.
It isn't. It isn't exclusive.
Okay, but do we have an exclusive? We're talking reverse. And the point of the show is is, like we said, to help people better understand where they're coming from.
Right.
It is discrimination that my child cannot get a United Negro College scholarship because she's white. And a black person can get any scholarship there is out there, because if there was one that was a white person only scholarship, white people would think the roof would come down. They would be labeled racist, whoever started it. And I understand a ethnic group or anybody doing things to help their ethnic group or whatever. But when we're talking racism in reverse, what we get from both sides, the pot calling the kettle black or whatever you want to say that saying is you have racism coming. And this is what the white people now think, but they're scared to say, because they're scared they're going to be labeled a racist. They are really, truly, pardon the language, but white people are really behind closed doors. They're pissed that there's a Miss Black America pageant. But they don't want a Miss White America pageant, but they're just pissed that...
That's the America pageant. That's the Miss America pageant.
No, I'm saying, but there's been plenty of African Americans, black women win the Miss America pageant, because they can compete in that, and they can win, and they do win, because there's some beautiful black women that wins. But again, discrimination, there ain't a white woman going to be in the Miss Black America pageant. There's Black Entertainment Channel. There ain't a white entertainment channel.
Every other channel is.
but again, that's not a law. That's
okay.
What the point from this white, and obviously from the question from the white young lady, is this is the feeling that for whatever reason it won't make it on TV, but many people in powerful positions, if they're white, they're not going to state it anyway because of their fear of being labeled racist. Well, and I'll tell you why I think you and I, if you let me, can talk this, because I know from the bottom of my heart you're not racist, and I believe you know the same.
I do.
I'm for 100% equal. But basically, Craig, as a white person, I do feel as if I'm discriminated against. I feel like my children are discriminated against simply because of the color of their skin. My daughter, she's brilliant, straight A's pretty much all the way through school. And there is pretty much no chance in hell that she will ever have the chance to receive a United Negro College scholarship. And it's simply because she's white, not because she's not qualified. And if you take that on the flip side, there's no white scholarships out there for white people only, because that would be discrimination. And it's discrimination the other way also. It's that we realize what I believe the majority of us truly want is just we all want to be treated equal. Then I think the world will, I believe people will live in, not to sound corny, but harmony. I mean,
if that was the case, we would have been living in harmony before we even needed Negro College Fund, before we even needed to have some type of affirmative action in regards to admission into college. But we needed that because it wasn't operating in harmony. When you talk about that your daughter doesn't have the ability, or she can't get the Negro College Fund scholarship, well, she can get the regular scholarship. And I don't have any statistics to prove my point, but there's regular scholarships that are applicable to your daughter being able to get the adequate funding in order to go to school on a full ride. And when you those are scholarships that I would imagine that are offered through the school system itself. So, you know, because of the fact that it's been unequally distributed to people of color, we needed to have our own scholarship that we've created through the Negro College Fund and all those other sources. So, but one point I wanted to make, and I think this is important, is that when we talk about these issues, it's disingenuous and it's not conducive for us to just start from today. We have to look at as to why